This is a Tornado Watch with your hosts, Izzy Miller and Lizzie Schaefer.
Hello, Tornado Nation. I'm Izzy Miller.
And I'm Lizzie Schaefer. And welcome to our very last Tornado Watch of the school year.
Even though the school year is coming to an end, students at THS are staying busy and ending the last week and a half strong.
Sadly, we've already said goodbye to our seniors as their last day was Friday.
But graduation is just around the corner. We had the opportunity to be in the gym while seniors practiced to prepare for our live stream production. The commencement ceremony will be held at 6 o'clock in the West Gym. We'll be live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and the CTI channel that Friday night.
We are very excited to honor our seniors and give them a proper send-off.
Even though Friday is the big day, seniors will still be active in sports.
Our baseball team is 6-6, and their regionals start on June 2nd. Softball is 2-11, and their regionals also start on June 2nd. Boys track sectionals are June 9th through 11th, and state for boys is June 17th through the 19th.
Girls track sectional is June 2nd through the 4th, and state is June 10th through the 12th. Wrestling is 4-4, and their last match is June 10th, and they do not have a postseason this year. We wish our athletes the best as they finish up their seasons.
Next up, May is Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month. One of our students at THS is surviving cystic fibrosis daily. Avery McCullough sat down with Izzy to talk about the struggles and growth that she's experienced along with her diagnosis of cystic fibrosis.
I'm here with THS senior Avery McCullough. So can you give us a basic definition of cystic fibrosis?
So cystic fibrosis is a genetic and progressive disease that primarily affects my lungs and the digestive system. So basically the fluids that are running through everyone's body in my body is more sticky and thick, so it gets stuck to the lining of my lungs and is unable to move out.
And when were you diagnosed with this disease?
I was diagnosed at 2 weeks old, which is actually pretty rare. Normally, since it is a progressive disease, it's not caught until probably around 5 or 6 years old.
So is it better that they caught it earlier rather than later?
They actually caught it earlier because I was kind of a hot mess, if that's what you want to call it. But by catching it earlier, they were able to get me in and get some much needed surgeries done where I was able to have a better shot.
So with having the surgeries earlier on in life, how did that affect you as a younger child?
There was lots of complications. I spent a lot of time in the hospital, and I have multiple scars, and I have a scar from a feeding tube. So, growing up with that, you look at everybody else, and they look completely normal, and then my body is full of scars. So, obviously, that had some, self-confidence issues, but, I embrace it at this point, so...
So growing up and knowing that a lot of kids didn't necessarily look like you or didn't have the same childhood as you, how'd that affect the way you see the world now?
Really, I just know to not take anything for granted at all, and I try to kind of push out on other people to be completely thankful for whatever you have, especially when it comes to health. I've never really been one to be the jealous type, I guess you would say, of other people, because obviously I was given the disease for a reason because I can handle it, and so at this point I just take whatever I can get.
Absolutely, and I think that's a great way to look at that. Also, how does it affect you now that you're older and you've had your whole life to just kind of, adapt to it and kind of figure out what works for you and what doesn't?
Obviously, dealing with it my whole life, I think of it as an everyday regimen for me. My treatments, my medications that all my friends are completely shocked by. It's just an everyday thing for me, like having a routine for everybody else's. Mm-hmm. I really just try to inspire the people with my attitude and not rub it in people's face, basically. It's more of a kind of secret thing because I do look completely normal on the outside, so.
How do you go through your treatments? Can you describe what those are?
Yeah, so one of my major treatments is a vest, is what it's called, and it basically just looks like a giant life vest that you would wear in the ocean, and it connects to a machine and it shakes me for half an hour to try and loosen up some of the stuff that gets stuck. And I do that twice a day, in the morning and at night. And then I also have a breathing treatment that I do once every night before bed, and that just is supposed to help kind of loosen things up as well, to help move out.
How do you find the positive in this situation?
I find it has made me stronger in ways that I never even thought possible. I work for everything. I do my treatments religiously to keep myself healthy, and I just try not to sit and feel sorry for myself, because that's really not going to help anything in the long run.
Well, I think it's really inspiring how you keep positive through all of this, and you just keep going, and that you're special, and you can embrace that. So, what's something that you'd like people to take away from this video, and just to remember about Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month?
Just mainly, I want them to remember the name. My friends included. Nobody really knows what it is or would know anything about it if they didn't know me personally, and I find that is really discouraging sometimes, because. Not that I'm taking away from anything else, but there are a lot of things that are well known, and cystic fibrosis just isn't one of those things because it is very rare. So I just want to bring more awareness to it in general.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today. We appreciate your time. And for Tommy TV, I'm Izzy Miller. I love Avery's positive attitude, and her story is so inspiring.
We have some really amazing people here at THS, and Mrs. Williams is another one of those. After 24 years of service, Staff Member of the Month, Mrs. Williams has decided to retire. But before she could, we pulled her into the Tommy TV studio so you could learn a little bit more about her.
First off, be kind to everybody, because you don't know what kind of a battle anybody is facing at the time. Enjoy life and take everything as an adventure. Probably when I met my husband, which sounds very corny and silly, but he was a super athlete, and he was somebody that everybody looked up to, and I've been married to him for 46 years. I really like where I'm at now, but I always kind of liked the 40s. I just thought the 40s was really neat. I thought their fashion sense for the women was awesome, and to be able to wear the hats and look really special all the time. I kind of like that era. Something that happened to me, it wasn't a very pleasant thing, but something that came to me, and it was a scripture verse which I don't normally remember, but it was a very difficult time in my life, and my brother had just passed away, and I was very confused about that, and the scripture that came to me was, all things work together for those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. And I said, well, Lord, I love you, but I don't understand this. And it just came to me that this too shall pass, and you shall grow from it. And so that's been something that I have lived with. So no matter how bleak it gets, whatever the situation is, it will turn out okay. Was probably have to say goodbye to a loved one. Oh, I know what I would do with that. If I won the lottery, I would love to be able to take most of that money, and I would like to put it in envelopes, and then just be able to give it people that I knew needed it. For one thing, I'd like to have, people would come in and they would say they're paying their mortgage, and they say, I'm sorry, it's already been paid, and no one would ever know. And I just think that would be so awesome, and be able to buy my kids' houses so then they could spend their money to make memories by doing vacations and things. Well, I love Easter, but then I think also too, I started thinking about 4th of July, because that was my dad's birthday, was the July 7th, and my mom and dad's anniversary, and we always have a big, big celebration, and we shoot off fireworks that are probably not really legal, but anyway, we would do that. I will never get into a race car and scream around a racetrack. I did this when we went to Orlando, and I thought, oh, it'd be fun, and I was scared out of my mind. I was just hoping I wasn't going to wet my pants, but anyway, I would never do that again. I see myself as being a very fun grandma, and still be able to do the things that I'm doing now. I've got 10 grandchildren right now, and I want to run around with them, and so that's part of the reason why I'm retiring, so I can goof around with them, and hopefully I'll be able to go up downstairs and won't be like, oh, grandma can't move, so I'm hoping I'll be able to do that.
Thank you very much for your years of dedication to our school, Mrs. Williams.
And I sincerely want to thank you for helping me with running errands since I was little, and for always having a smile on your face no matter how your day was going. I will definitely miss seeing you in the office.
Now let's turn to the agriculture sector of Taylorville High School. The Taylorville FFA hosted a fantastic banquet on Sunday that honored the students' hard work and dedication throughout the school year. This was my first time attending the banquet, and wow, Lizzie, it was very impressive. I had so much fun.
We love getting the opportunity to showcase all we do in a year's work. A huge thank you goes out from FFA to the Winans family and Tommy TV for their hard work and dedication to making our banquet a huge success.
Next up, band and choir have been in action. We were finally able to have a live performance this year. Band and choir had a joint performance at the Chautauqua building a few weeks ago. And boy, did it feel good to perform for a live audience again. Jazz band also performed the following week outside Hershey Towers. Their performance was amazing to watch.
For this last Tornado Watch, we would like to thank and honor all of our seniors. Toby Winans, Ian Neisler, Keegan Maxheimer, and Mike Wells. You guys will all be missed.
Well, that's a wrap on our last Tornado Watch, but don't worry, we'll be back next school year.
Thanks for tuning in on Tommy TV.
You're watching Tommy TV.